All right, y'all. As y'all can see, we have the right to travel versus driver's license. This is a very touchy, big, controversial topic right here. To further get into it and break this down. Well, first of all, to put it out there, right? Let's just make this clear. This information right here was never supposed to be discovered. But now that it's discovered, it creates problems, right? When people find information like this, they present it, put it out there. A lot of these videos get snatched down. They get flagged. You got the terminology sovereign citizen. When people find these truths and when they act on these truths, they want to call them sovereign citizens. And that's because they want to keep you as the people further and further away from the truth. This stops the government, the system, whatever you want to call it. This stops their show. Once you find these rules, understand the law, this put them at risk. Because now everything you've been being told is a lie. You got to reverse your way of thinking. It's like getting you hooked on a drug. You're being taught and told this stuff from the beginning, and now you're presented with new information that's been discovered and found. So now it's hard to wing off the lie that they embedded in your head for all your life. The bigger issue with these things is when you find these laws and when you find these rules and you act on them and you do different things, you know, sure, they're gonna, it's no doubt about it, they're gonna make an example out of you. So although this information is potent, is right, this is the law. But again, like I said, they make their laws and break their own laws all the time. This is what the system, this is what the government do. Because they want to keep people further away from the truth and they want to instill fear in them. So when you act on the truth, they want to make an example out of you. For example, when you're acting on these things, you're driving without a license, no license plates on your tags, this and that. Again, it's not that you're wrong because you discovered the law and understand that you don't necessarily have to have any of these things, but they basically forcing you into a contract to act on these things because everything is a profit for them so they can make money off of us, the people. They do things, they do what you call scare tactics, which, although you're right and you presenting these laws, they don't want to hear it. Because what they're going to do, they're going to in turn break their laws. They're going to put you in jail. They're going to lock you up because they want to make an example out of you. They put you at risk with all these things of losing your job, getting you arrested, a record on your file, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, none of this stuff or these laws that were discovered and found are wrong. They just don't want people to know the truth. And they have secret courts that know this or that know these rules, that know these laws. And they get passes on this stuff. But you have to, quote unquote, join a cult or become a Mason and stuff like that to participate in some of these things, which is actually is not right because the law is the law. But again, they make their rules and break their rules. So let's get into it. All government officials, including local policemen and firemen in every city and borough, must take an official oath in the Constitution if the natural people and citizens lack knowledge, they will often fail to recognize when an ordinance or statute passed by politicians violates the supreme law of the land. No ordinance or statute or laws of any of the several states can contradict or violate the supreme law of the land. Despite actions of police and local courts, higher courts have ruled that American citizens have a right to travel without state permits. As you can see, Black Law's Dictionary over here, we have the driver definition. One employed in conducting or operating a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle with horse, mules, or other animals, or a bicycle, tricycle, or motor car, though not a street railroad car. C. Davis versus Petrinovich. It's case law for y'all. And now we have this. If you see the above things, underline those definitions where employee, commerce, commercial purposes for compensation, because driving a motor vehicle in law means getting paid, commerce, commercial purposes, while using the public roads, like a truck driver, cab driver, limo driver, etc. These people do need license to drive on the roads. On the other hand, if you are just going to the grocery store or your friend's house, then you are lawfully traveling and not driving. That's the difference. All right. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this whole situation. Case number 1. By the way, these are Supreme Court law decisions. And this is going to further prove my point where I say these people make their rules and break their own rules once you discover the truth. So let's get into it. Case number 1. The use of highway for the purpose of travel and transportation is not a mere privilege, but a common fundamental right of which the public and individuals cannot rightfully be deprived. Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago. Case law for y'all to look up. Don't take my word for it. Read into all this stuff yourself. Everything I'm telling you, read into it yourself. I'm here to point out the facts and shed light. Anyway, case number 2. The right of a citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property thereon, either by carriage or by automobile, is not a mere privilege, which a city may prohibit or permit at will, but a common law right, which he has under the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thompson versus Smith. Another case law. Case number 3. The right to travel is part of liberty of which the citizen cannot be deprived without due process of law under the 5th Amendment. Kent versus Dulles. Case number 4. The right to travel is well-established common right that does not owe its existence to the federal government. It is recognized by the courts as a natural right. Chapman versus Dulles. So again, people, here's the facts. I presented y'all with them. But you gotta understand, these judges, policemen, masonry, all that stuff is corrupt. It's all part of the system to keep you further and further away from the truth. This cult and these group of individuals only want certain individuals to be able to know this information and use this information. They don't want everybody knowing this because, again, this stops their show. If the whole world understands, wake up, realize what's going on, and see the truth and get further and further to the truth, they will understand that they've been lied to all their life, and that when these truths get discovered, they want to keep you and us as people further and further away from the truth So they try to make us, the people, look like bad guys when we find this potent information, and do things like call us sovereign citizens, throw us in jail, and try to ruin our lives the best way they can. But again, the information is here. I'm here to shed light and bring the facts and keep you further and keep you closer and closer to the truth instead of further and further away from the truth, as the system do. But as always, I'm here to bring the facts. And until next time, catch y'all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.